Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Last First Date Radio, featuring interviews with experts in dating, relating, and mating in midlife. And now, here's your host, Sandy Weiner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Last First Date Radio, the place to be for creating healthy, lasting relationships in midlife. And today I am excited to be speaking with dating and relationship coach Paula Grooms about her book, Why Men Don't Commit. This is a fantastic topic, and we were just talking for a few minutes before the show, and I am really excited to hear what she has to say. But before I bring her on, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been up to. As most of you know, I've been a dating and relationship coach for about 11 years now, and I love helping women over 40 who sometimes have never had love find love that is epic at this age, at 40, 50, 60, 70, and beyond. I have a client in her 70s now who is in the most amazing relationship. And the interesting thing is that these women just needed to learn something very important, which is that they are women of value, that they have value, that they can express their value, and they've learned to speak up in a way that connects. This is a skill that most people actually don't learn. I certainly didn't learn it growing up, and that's why it's my absolute passion to teach it. And as I really go further with the Woman of Value movement, I'm going to be bringing the Woman of Value method, the communications method, to work, because I find that many women at work are still not communicating effectively, which is not giving them the respect and the rewards, the raises, everything that they deserve, because they're keeping their head down, they're being stepped on at meetings so that their voice isn't heard, their ideas are stolen, and I want to put an end to that. So we should all be women of value. That is my passion. That is my mission. And every week I bring you a tip on how to become a woman of value. This week's tip is love your body. And we have such trouble with this. And I really am encouraging you to stop comparing and despairing. We tend to look at our body in comparison with the media, with other people's bodies, and definitely be as healthy as you can be and rock what you got, girls, ladies. It's really important to love who you are and what you have, because how we feel about ourselves is what we put out into the world. And so, you want people to see you in your full glory, so you've got to own that. So really work on giving some self-love to the parts of your body, especially that you have the hardest with. And I'm going to share a little cute tip that somebody once shared with me, and that is that if you really struggle with your thighs, with your belly, with a part of your body that you don't like, go get some rub-on tattoos, like the little sparkly tattoos, and give them a little sparkle and a little love and make them feel a little better. So I love that one. It makes me laugh. So before I bring on Paula, I just wanted to remind anybody who has not yet joined my new membership club, the Woman of Value Club. It just launched a few weeks ago. We are talking about how to date online as a woman of value, and this is an incredible small group that is, they're getting my coaching for free the first month, and then it's such a low price, it's ridiculous. So if you want to find out how you can get support without having to hire me as your private coach, go to lastfirstdate.com, that's my website, and just click on the link for group coaching, and you can find out all about it and join. It's an ongoing program. You can join anytime. Next month we're talking about how to understand and communicate with men, which is also a really, really crucial topic if you want to find love. All right, so now for Paula. Paula Grooms, she's a dating and relationship coach. She has her master's in social work and 20 years of professional experience. Through her public speaking platform and international coaching platform, boy, that's hard to say, platform, she helps passionate people with the unique needs of their partner for strong, sustainable, and committed relationships. She is going to share some fun, engaging theories from her book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. And it will help you understand the unique way in which men view women, communicate, love, commit, and make their forever romantic decisions. So join me now for episode number 333 with Paula Grooms on Why Men Don't Commit. Welcome, Paula.
Hi. How are you?
Hey. Good. It's hard to
Great
say
to
platform.
Hear you.
You too.
Yes, it's my international coaching program and my international speaking platform. So yeah, it's a mouthful.
Okay.
Yes.
Platforms and programs and
right.
Okay.
Right.
So let's start with what inspired you to write this book?
Boy, that's a good question. I think it's all my years. I'm definitely a woman over 40, and it's been all my years of professional work as a social worker, and also my personal experience with men, and then helping women with men. It just, I call it divine intervention because the theories that came to me, I can't tell you how they came to me. They just did, and I guess it's just a culmination of all my years of experience and observations. And what I loved hearing, you were talking about women loving themselves, and I'm all about that because of one of my theories, which correlates with that, which is the puppy principle. And that allows women to understand how they are loved just for being, and not for their thighs or their thin, six packs or whatever it is. It's not that at all for men. Men love women. And what the puppy principle is that most women, we love puppies. And, all social media has puppy pictures and so forth all over it because we have a feeling when we see cute puppies. They're all cute. Whether they're a little Chihuahua or a big Great Dane, they're all cute. Any breed of puppy is just adorable exactly the way it is. And we feel something when we see a puppy. We immediately relate in a way that frees us, and we love just looking at them. And this is how men view women. In other words, we are all pretty puppies to men. Whether we're big, small, short, tall, thin, robust, whatever we are attractive to them just by our mere presence and essence. And I think women can relate to that because we feel that way generally about puppies. And if it's not puppies for you, it's kittens or it's babies or whatever. But it's that kind of feeling that men get. And when I've talked to men about it, they say, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. We just love you all. We just love being around you.
So that women are going to hear that and go, oh, come on. Men tell me I'm unattractive, and, they're looking for somebody much younger and thinner, and, you hear that all the time. So what would you say to those women?
Yes, but that isn't, but I hope they're not hearing that from a man, and if so, they better run very fast from that man.
Yeah.
Because there's something going on with that man if that's what he is saying to any woman, because I find it to be the absolute truth that a man will find something attractive about all women. Now, it might not be his quote-unquote breed of choice, meaning that if he loves Chihuahuas and you're a Rottweiler, in terms of that, no, he's not necessarily going to choose you to, here's the key, choose you to adopt and take home forever. And here's where I relate the puppy principle to how men commit, because we've all heard the old saying, women commit when they or marry when they meet the right man, Men marry when it's the right time. And my consumer versus buyer theory, which is the second big theory in my book, is that a man must be in the state of being a buyer in order to commit. And here's where this relates to the puppy principle. So if a woman, we love puppies. I think we're both here in New York. We walk on the street and we see them all manner of sizes, shapes, colors, and we love them all. And we go up to them and want to pet them. And if a man could, he'd want to come up to us and pet us too, if he were socially able to do it.
Some of them do. And it's not socially acceptable.
Yes. Absolutely, right? They do, exactly. But the thing is that it's a combination, but a man has to be in the state of it being the right time for him to commit, because while women view commitment as a natural outgrowth of love, men view commitment as a responsibility. And so when we are in a place, we love a puppy, but we have to be at a place and time in our life where we're not in flux, where we have a good job so that we know we can afford that puppy, where we have a place to live that is conducive to that puppy coming and living with us, where we know we're not going to be taking off for a safari for 3 months to be able to take on that puppy. Because to us, that puppy is a responsibility. And no matter how much we love it, we will not adopt it unless we know we can take responsibility for that puppy. And this is how men see commitment. Because when we love all puppies, we can't adopt them all, correct? We can't go and adopt them all.
Some people do.
Right, yeah. But in gradation, we can adopt them all. So we choose that one that we fall for, but we're only going to adopt it when it is the right time for us to do so. And the thing I think that you're talking about is that a man will, he'll consume, and this is the consumer versus buyer principle, that a man will consume all the time, attention, and affection a pretty puppy is willing to give to him with no intention of ever committing or adopting that puppy. And this is where women see, well, why can't I lock this down? He loves me, and I can tell he loves me. Why isn't he committing? It's because those things, achievement needs, he's going to take responsibility, so he needs everything to be lined up to be in the state of being a buyer. And it's, for us, it's in that state of knowing we can take on a puppy to bring it home and adopt it. That's the state a man must be in order to commit to it.
It's interesting. I see this as a really important thing, and I think that a lot of women get really stuck here because they stay in these non-committed relationships for a very long time, and they keep wondering why the man doesn't commit. But then,
because he loves,
the challenge.
She feels the love. Because she feels the love from him, and she doesn't understand why he wouldn't commit. Exactly.
And so a lot of times, though, a man will, they'll break up, and then a month later he's engaged. He's in a relationship with a woman. So how do you explain that?
Okay, that's a simple one. Well, it's simple in theory, but not so simple in practice. Because what happens, and I love that you talk about this, being a woman of value, that has to be from the start. Because I'm a big, I guess proponent is kind of the word, but that Freud didn't get everything right, but he certainly got one thing right, and that is the Madonna whore complex. And as you may know, that is that men tend to think in black and white terms in terms of women. And what I mean by that is that they tend to put women in one of two categories. The woman who is the woman you marry and who can be the mother of your children, etc., and that feeling, no matter the age, or the woman that you have fun with. And the issue here for men is that if you don't show them from the start that you're in the former category, meaning you're a woman of high value who expects commitment and will not accept for the long term anything less, that must be set up from the beginning. And it takes a lot to undo patterns if you've gotten into the pattern of, 4 or 5 years with someone where you've accepted, or longer, where you've accepted no commitment. So what happens when they break up with a woman, first of all, they don't do very well emotionally with that. So what do? They go find another puppy to adopt right away because they're missing the emotional feeling and the connection to their puppy they loved. And then what happens is that woman who says, I'm a woman of value, I expect commitment, and they will do that right away. Because time is never a factor in a man committing, ever. So he could be with you for 10 days or 10 years. Time is not a factor in a man committing. He has to be in the right state of being a buyer, and then it has to be the right puppy.
It's interesting. A couple of years ago, I bought a book with the dog reference, like correlating relationships to dogs. I don't even remember where it is or what it is, but it wasn't very deep, but it was cute. But I like this because I think that it's very relatable, and I think that what women need to do is to establish their standards. But then the question becomes, and this is something I did speak about in a live video this week, how do you know if a man is commitment ready?
In that state?
How do you know? Like, what are some ways to tell? And when is it too early, or when is a good time to establish what you want? Like, would you ask women to tell a man that on a first date?
No,
to tell them their relationship goals? Right. So let's talk about that, because that's a big topic of discussion.
It is.
So how do you tell? Let's break it down. How can you tell if a man is commitment ready?
Well, the first thing is that I have a test that any woman can take called the consumer versus buyer relationship. She can take it at any time. I like to use a 3-month time period, but it can be taken earlier because I caution women that initially, when a man has very serious interest in you initially, every man will come off as a buyer because he's trying to get the woman. He's trying to achieve. Because men at their core are about achievement. Because, and I tell women to think sports. Sports came from the mind of males because it's about competition, challenge, and conquering. Those are my 3 C's of men. The 3 C's of women, and this, of course, is in gross generalizations, women are connectors, caretakers, and cooperators. That's women. Men are all about challenge, competition, and conquering. And they must feel that they are achieving something worth achieving in order to go for it. So, for example, if LeBron James' team plays against a high school basketball team and they win, it doesn't matter because that team is not an equal opponent. Men want to feel what they achieve is highly valued and highly sought after. And so as a woman, when you hold yourself in the position from the beginning that I don't just give myself to anybody that wants a piece of me, it sets you apart from the start. And that's where his deepest need to achieve actually allows him to start to feel feelings and start to fall in love. And both are equally important.
Mhm. So she has to establish who she is from the start, just that she's a high-value woman, that she doesn't give herself up. And are you referring to being exclusive, having sex? Like, what does that mean to give herself to anybody?
And that's the thing that's, it's different for each woman. But here's the foundational principle that's it's very hard because, again, I speak in gross generalizations, but men believe at their core, their deepest core, what you do with them, you do with all men. And this is where we get into trouble. Because a woman, when she meets a man she really likes and is attracted to, that's generally a rarity. Meaning she doesn't view men as puppies. Men are not puppies to women. In other words, we like one, generally speaking. We find one that we really would like to be with and love, and we attach and bond very quickly. Men, we're all puppies. And so they, that's why women will say, he's so into me. I met him, he's so into me. And then he said he's going to call. He says he's going to do this, that, whatever, and he doesn't. It's that he's distracted by other puppies. That's easily, but we are not that. So what happens is we tend to give ourselves quickly to someone we really like. Well, that does two things. It takes his pursuit away, and he is actively loving when he's pursuing. And I make this easy for women. Women love through knowing. We love to know a man feels a certain way. We love to know what he's doing. We love to know everything about our relationship and what's going on. Men love very differently. Men love through wondering. It's why the pursuit part is so important. Why, I talk about texting principles and all that, because just their waiting and wondering makes them love. It gets to their deepest core. The two genders love so very differently that we have to come at it from the male perspective and what they need. And so, again, I go back to, doing what we would do and what we would desire does not inspire their desire. So when we hold ourselves a woman of value and keep men are all about getting into our minds, getting into our phone, getting into our heart, getting into our apartment, getting into our car, getting into us. They just want to get in, achieve. And that has to come in a slow and steady way, and you have to make them prove themselves worthy of achieving each step. And when we do that, we create a desire in them that they're so longing for. They are so longing for now, because everything, when it comes too easily, again, LeBron wins over the high school team, that trophy means nothing to him. Nothing. He has to have an equal opponent who makes him achieve it.
Yeah, so I hear that, and I'm going to push back a little bit on this one too. So first of all, as a woman, I feel the same way. I don't want a man who's like, easy, like he's desperate. He's just looking for somebody to like her, right? So I think women are looking for the special qualities in a man too.
Sure.
But here's the thing with the pursuing. So my understanding of men over 40 is that they're not exactly like their younger counterparts. That they are,
for sure.
Yeah, so in many ways. But one of the ways is that, Alison Armstrong calls the quality of a man that most women are seeking as kings. And the king is somebody who's for anybody who's not familiar. He's confident in himself. He's achieved a lot in his life. He's not ego-driven. And so men who are less ego-driven, so like say a man has already achieved a lot in his life, and he's towards the end of retirement, if not retired already, and he's more relational than a lot of younger men. He's much more emotionally intelligent and interested in deeper commitment, deeper talk, deeper conversation with women. More of his equal, right? And so those men often don't want to chase. They are tired of chasing down everything in their lives. They have worked so hard. So, I'm curious what you have to say about that.
Yes. So it's not chase. It's not chase at all. It is holding yourself back from, you doing the chasing, and it's showing yourself to be the woman of value that just doesn't give over to the stuff that younger women tend to do. So it isn't to make him chase, and I don't mean that by pursuit. I mean that it is, again, for the man to, it's the difference between a woman being all in and being a not yet kind of attitude. Because it's not a no, it's not the same kind of attitude as a 20-year-old would have at all. Because it is very, very different. And men are attuned to, we have to take, first of all, each man on his own individual, everyone's on a scale. And, some men are uber male, more like, the Rock and the Arnold Schwarzenegger type, the uber male type. And then others are much softer and more sensitive. And we have to be sensitive to those things. But if we give all of ourselves, which women, loving, wonderful women that we are, tend to do, it doesn't inspire their desire in a way that will service us for the long run. So it's more holding of value. It's not a chase. It's more
so it's not a game.
No.
So this is where people get really confused because they, then they start getting anxious and the man doesn't call them and he says, let me call you. And then, it's just, this was a big discussion in my free Facebook group, Your Last First Date Today. And so women get caught up in like, well, I can't really be myself because I have to always let the man pursue me. But I like the way you reframed it here from, being all in to not yet. And I think men need to know that they're still in the running. And I think a lot of women are not clear. So what are some ways women can be clear that you're still in the running, I just have to see if you're a good candidate for me, right?
Exactly. It is giving men, especially, over 40, and it really is that, giving them kudos for what you see in them. I really like how honest you've been with me. I really like how sensitive you are about, I see how you are with your son or daughter. That is so amazing to me. Those types of things are like little droplets of gold for the man. And it shows him, because men at their core, when they like someone, they want to please her. And if you show him you are pleasing me just by being who you are, that's huge. Because in their younger days, men don't get that. And they do need it, and they are looking for it. But it is not doing. Women tend to do many things for men in the beginning, being all in. No, it's just that I like you, and I'd like to continue seeing you. I like to take things slowly, but I want you to know that there's a lot I like about you, and I I want to get to know you. That's enough in the very beginning for someone to know. And if that's not enough for him, then there might be a question about him.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think this is great, like dropping those little nuggets in his lap. Men love being appreciated, and so many women are so busy trying to protect themselves and guard themselves and not get hurt that they're really holding back from giving that kind of beautiful appreciation, which a man just swells up when he hears that, as anybody would, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if anyone's in that
state, go ahead.
If anyone's in that state and they're wondering what state the man is in, they can take my consumer versus buyer relationship test at whywon'thecommit.com, and that can be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to put that in the show notes.
Right.
Okay. Whywon'thecommit.com. Any final tip that you have for our women who are listening today to help them go on their last first date?
Yes. Have a feeling of abundance, and that there is that person out there for you. And that feeling of abundance and enjoying a man in the moment for whatever he is giving you in the moment, holding yourself as a woman of value, goes a long, long way in the start of a relationship. And finding out where he really is on the scale of being ready, willing, and able to commit, because, again, it has nothing to do with age. In terms of his willingness to commit, we all know the perennial bachelors that are 70 and still looking. So it doesn't really matter. He can be 17 or 70 and be in the state of being a buyer. So it's really finding him in that right state and things coming together. It will happen if you have a feeling of abundance and that it's going to happen for you.
Yeah, you do definitely have to believe that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, this was a wonderful, wonderful half hour with you today, Paula. You have so much wisdom to share. And I hope everybody goes to your website, takes the quiz at Why Men Won't Commit. Why won't he commit?
Whywon'thecommit.com.
.com. And, buy your book. And
thank you so much.
Let's get more women to... so thank you so much again and for doing this wonderful work that you do to help women find love. Yeah, thank you. And thanks, everybody, for listening today. And if you love our show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes to help other people find us and love us as much as you do. I hope you all go on your last first date very soon. Have a great day.